Welcome, welcome, everyone. Hello, welcome to this most beautiful, powerful moment that we have to take a breath. We have a chance to meet together in this space and discover what are the ancient secrets that you can apply today and every day to value the preciousness of life, the mystery of life, the mystery of creation, and discover possibilities that maybe you never realized before. Maybe collectively we never realized before. Maybe there's something you will share actually on this call that will touch someone else's heart, that will create some transformation, some alchemical moment, magical moment in which deep healing is possible. I believe that on this call today, a lot of people are going to experience very, very deep healing. And I'm speaking because I also am seeking moments of tranquility and peace. I just came from beautiful funeral, actually, for a person who has been in our community, Nick. And actually, I think I just share this. There's when I first met Nick, he couldn't walk. Actually, for years, he hadn't been able to walk. He was prepared to go for back surgery within 2 weeks. So much intense pain riddled through his entire body. And actually, when you're in that much pain, it's hard for depression not to come. And at the same time, so many things happening in his body, his mind, and his emotions. And his mom, talk about miracles of mothers. My mom she just walked in just now showing me that a gift that I gave her 2 months ago, she hadn't opened yet because she was waiting to be in my presence to open it. So I'm excited later today to open that gift. But I think the greatest gifts come from our moms, and his mom picked him up in Washington from the hospital and drove him, I don't know how many hours, to the place where I was speaking, the clinic where I was presenting at. And just to hope that there could be some help and some healing. He was pretty desperate and pretty depressed. And there's a lot of things that were challenging in his life. And in that space, I don't remember noticing him until towards the end of the presentation. I said, is anyone in pain? Is anyone feeling pain right now? And actually, it's a question that I ask oftentimes when I present, is anyone in pain? And it's amazing how often we have pain that we never show, that's below the surface, whether it's physical, mental, emotional pain, and we kind of push it down, and we try to live life with that kind of numbness, that kind of cloud in the background. Well, in this particular case, a bunch of people raised their hand, and one of them was Nick. And I remember I went around real quick, and then all of a sudden I says, I think I'm supposed to have you. And he walked forward, but you could see that he was limping. And then I was like, oh my goodness. Then I got nervous, And I'm just going to make the story, fast forward the story, because a lot of you know the story or you can watch it. But in that space, in that container of love, surrounded by so many people, with the power of the ancient secrets, with his mother watching and knowing how much he was suffering, he walked for the first time in a couple of years. And as he walked, his walking got stronger. He even could put weight on his foot that he ended up able to put on it for 2 years. Then we did another Marma 2 days later, and he was running around the house. In fact, Kyle, I don't know if he's on the call, but he was playing, someone was playing on their phone the music for Rocky, the Eye of the Tiger, as he was like running around the house. And everyone who saw him before was just in awe that this was possible. When I asked him, what do you want? He just got so much clarity on what he wanted. The next time I saw him, I was at a park, and he actually literally ran across the park to see me. And it was really interesting because in that space, he was also very honest about that, even though this miracle happened, there was still challenges he was facing. And the thing that he originally wanted, he saw wasn't possible. And so he really was struggling. And so I was saying, well, what else do you want? He's like, that's my problem. I don't even know what I want. I was like, so as we're walking around this park, I was like, well, what do you think? Just what's one thing that you want today, or one thing you want in the short term? It doesn't have to be your huge thing that you want in your life. But a big part of the healing is discovering, what do you want? What do you want? And he looked at the mountain in the distance, Mount Olympus. He says, I've always wanted to hike that mountain. And now maybe that my leg is working, maybe I'll do that again. And so on the Facebook Live, we invited a lot of people to join us. Well, before I could even join him on hiking on that hiking that mountain, like just almost like a week later, he sent this video.
All right, sorry, Dr. Clint. I just couldn't wait to come check this out. See if I could make it up here on Mount Olympus a little bit. So I haven't gotten that far, but I don't know. I'm trying. Thanks.
Just seeing that video when it came into my phone made me so happy. You know that there are mountains that we can climb, that we have the capacity to climb. And he was climbing his mountain, and so many miracles happened, and he touched the lives of so many of us here. And just fast forward, I was just yesterday at the funeral in which the same mother that brought him to the clinic was speaking at his service. And just to have a mother speak at any son's funeral is a difficult thing, but especially in these circumstances. And some things she said really were impacting my heart and were really healing for me personally. She didn't hide from the complexity of the situation. She didn't hide from the struggle that he was still facing through going through such a difficult divorce and so many other mental emotional challenges that he had been facing from being traumatized from when he was young and so many things. And at the same time, such a beautiful, capable life, someone who loved camping and loved sports and loved playing basketball. In fact, his best friend said that he remembered that moment when the healing happened before he could barely walk up the stairs. And then 2 days later, he told his friend, let's go play basketball together, And what if we can honor both parts of us? His mom said, yeah, he can be a beautiful, loving, kind person. At the same time, he can be, there can be challenges inside of him. What if we can, in this space, what if part of life, part of the recipe of living a truly remarkable life, part of the recipe of honoring the mystery and the magic of life is allowing for both things to exist inside of us, and not hiding from one, but allowing it to be, and looking at it and allowing it to be the Atiti Devo Bhava, that even that part can show us where there's something out of alignment, something where we're not allowing the magic of life to meet our hearts in this space. So I just wanted to share that as I'm in this space with you right now. That's very much in my heart. In fact, I'm going to be going in about 5 minutes, and I'm driving to the graveside service where the interment of his body is going to happen. And so I just ask for your prayers, your love for his family, for his friends, and especially for his kids, his kids that are filled with so many emotions at this moment, different kinds of emotions, sadness, anger, confusion, just a lot of things happening inside of that family. And so in this space, in this moment, I just want us to send a lot of love to Nick and his mother and his children, his wife, his brothers. If we could just put our hands together right now. Love you and with you, Nick. You've touched all of our lives in so many powerful ways. Thank you. Thank you for the gift of being, for allowing yourself to be here in this life. I was there at the funeral or afterwards. There's two people that came who were at that first meeting where Nick had that transformation. And even when he went back to the surgeon's like, you don't need back surgery anymore. And Marcel and Justice were there. I don't know if they're on the call right now. See them right now, but Marcel went up to his mom and said, you don't have any idea how many hundreds and thousands of people's lives are changed because we knew Nick, and seeing his transformation changed our life. And regardless of what has happened right now, that will continue to live on and continue to grow in the lives of so many people. So no love is ever wasted. Dr. Ram, he would tell me this, no, there is no wasted effort. There is no wasted love. Every moment of love matters. And in this moment, not only loving Nick and his family and anyone in your life that's struggling, but loving yourself, really learning to allow yourself to receive love for parts of you that maybe was difficult to love before. Elio, you have something you want to share?
Yes, I do. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to express myself this time, and I would like to express myself telling you all, that Nick was part of my group, the last group that we had together. And when we had the next group, I was hoping really, really, really very much, that he comes back to continue the progress that he was making. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. and I'm sorry to hear that happened. He passed on, and we are just thinking, what if? In any case, the reason that I opened the microphone is that it might be the last time you see me, and that is that what I'm going to say is not going to make some people happy. We are here to learn and to work together and to be together. And as much as I could, I put my heart into it. And what is happening is, well, I signed up. I intended to sign up today, for that 1 year class, and something really ticked me off, and that is that the price of that, the very low price, that Dr. Clint put on it, is $5,000. And I would like you, you only have 5 minutes, so I'm going, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to destroy the rest of the session
You're
because
not,
I cannot understand.
no,
Please do
Elio,
me a favor.
no, but you're not destroying anything. You're welcome to speak in this space, your heart. You're not
Thank you.
destroying anything, and I'm with you, Elio. Please feel free to
I,
share
I,
anything in your
I, I
heart.
have been a businessman. And if you look around, what is happening is we are in the middle of a war, and everybody is not doing so well mentally, physically, and especially financially. And you're putting a class out there, for on a video once a week, and you want us to pay $400 a week for a class like that. It is a class, that most of the videos you have already. True or false? Explain to me what kind of expense do you have to justify that. I want to pay. I do not want, to be one of the people, that, get you know whatever, get it for free or whatever. I don't want to do that. I want to pay. I believe, you have expenses. They're not justified. The last time, you charged $5,000, for a year of school. I understand $5,000, when Dr. Mariam G, was connected with the New York University, and she had facilities that she had to pay for. But I do not understand, a video for $400 a week. That is just ridiculous.
Beautiful. Elio, thank you so much for speaking. Can I see if I understand you?
Oh, go right ahead. Make my day.
Yeah, so you're feeling some frustration about the price of the 1 year practitioner, not the 1 year practitioner program, but the 1 year immersion program. It's troubling your heart, like how can this price justify that experience? And so you're feeling somehow out of place, or somehow it doesn't settle right in your heart.
I'm talking for everybody.
Yeah. Did I understand you correctly?
So far, yes.
Okay. And in that space, you're trying to work through how can you justify it in your own mind? And so something feels out of place for you.
Yes, you feel out of place for me.
Okay, beautiful. So you feel that I feel out of place for you. Like, why am I charging this price is your feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Justify it to me.
Beautiful. Well, first of all, Elio, thank you for sharing your feeling. Because if you're feeling this, it's likely many people are feeling this.
They just don't say it.
Yeah, thank you for speaking your heart, Elio. Your heart is always welcome in this space. What you're feeling is very valid and very justified because it's your experience. So thank you for sharing that. Now, would it be okay if I share from my perspective what we're doing?
That's why I said everything I said. Go right ahead, make my day.
Beautiful. So with any of the programs that I've done so far, or that I've been involved with so far through the Ancient Secrets Foundation, the primary thing that we're doing is try and raise money for the foundation so we can help not only those orphan kids in Nepal, but we're trying to help many, many of the projects that Dr. Ram had in his mind and his heart before he left his body. And I feel like I'm a sacred keeper of those things. Now, if Elio, you want to know, I've never taken a single penny from any program so far that's ever been
No,
offered.
I do not know that.
So, and then the other thing about it is every single program that we've ever created, we've made it so it's accessible, so it never has to be about money. Every single program that I've been involved with so far, if people have a burning desire to participate, they can apply for a scholarship or they can apply for it in some way. And then the other part of it that you haven't seen, Elio, is that for certain people who have a burning desire to heal their relationship with money, one of the scholarship options is they can choose It's called option 2. They can choose to learn the ancient secrets for abundance. Now, in the ancient secrets for abundance, people heal these things. Sangita, who is on the call, I don't know if she's here right now, but she didn't have enough money for the original program. She followed these principles that Dr. Ram taught. Within a period of 1-2 months, she raised more than 3 times the amount needed for the original course. The same thing happened with Esther and so many other people. When they apply these principles, they can actually heal their relationship with money. Now, that's not the only option. People can also serve. Dr. Ram says there is a price for everything, a price we pay. So if you want healing, because really this is a space of healing, it's healing relationships, it's healing physical, healing mental, emotional. And one of the things that's often out of place in our lives is our relationship with money. And I'll speak for myself too. Much of my life, I had an unhealthy relationship with money because there was certain subconscious programming inside of me. I'm not saying I'm totally there yet, but I've seen so much progress in this area. So, but there is a price we need to pay. Let's say we have some physical ailment. The very smallest price we have to pay often is in terms of money. And even that is optional. You can change it through your habits. You can change it through your diet. You can change it by doing home remedies, and you can actually even avoid most sicknesses by paying a price of living a life in a certain way where you're aligned with your purpose. And you're feeding yourself not only here, but feeding yourself here very positive things. So in this entire space of giving so much value, some people do want to go deeper. And so in that space of going deeper also, yes, there's people whose livelihoods need to be supported. Yes, beautiful. And that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. I don't know if I helped answer that question, but the essence of it, I want to just share for you and for everyone is
No, you did not.
Okay, tell me.
I personally do not have a problem with money.
Okay,
My
beautiful.
money is fine, and I can pay a reasonable price for it. That money that you charge us is unreasonable for all of us, as far as I'm concerned. Okay,
Okay,
I have money and I pay my bills, on time, and I have a little bit of extra money, and I'm okay with that. I do not have a problem with healing. I have a problem that I spent $13,000 between your company and Jiva Shakti.
Super.
Look,
So
and
I
you
don't
know
know
something? No, let me talk.
Okay, please.
You know what is happening?
Please.
The problem that I have is not being solved. And the gentleman, Dr. Pranav, that prescribed me the medicine that he prescribed me.
Uh-huh.
There are 4 medicines, and a tincture, that, exist, in Ayush Shakti, and none of them were prescribed to me. Explain that. My situation is still the same, and I'm frustrated. Now,
Okay.
that is a problem. Because you see, I have tried and I'm trying my hardest, and I'm doing anything I can and everything I can to heal my heart. And what is
Beautiful.
happening is my heart is not healed. And I'm
Thank you.
chasing a rainbow. And I
Okay.
promise you something, one way or another, I'm going to find a way to do that. But I'm speaking for all these people.
Thank you for
Because
speaking.
they are just don't have it, to tell it to you that is ridiculous. I do not know one way or another. I didn't see your books, but I can tell you one thing, that is just wrong. You jump the price, on the 3-year program from 2,000 to 5,000, then you won $14,000 overnight. I'm
Thank you.
sorry, then you're preaching to the wrong people. We are just the people that down there, down at the bottom, the reprobates. Remember Clint's reprobates? We are it.
Elio,
We are
thank you.
here to work together. We are not here, to milk each other out.
Thank you, Elio. Can I see if I understand you now? Because I feel like
Go
you've
right ahead.
Yeah, so now what I understand is also, it's not necessarily about this situation, but this situation is triggering a pain that was there from before. So when you were working with Marian G, you paid a lot of money to that company, Jivan Shakti, which has still been troubling you.
And
And
yours
now,
too.
what was my company? Tell me.
The Ayush Shakti, I paid $3,000 in the last year and a half.
Okay, so beautiful. So I don't work for Ayush Shakti, but I understand you've paid money to Jivan Shakti and to Ayush Shakti. So let me understand your situation. Okay, beautiful. Is it okay if I understand you, Elio?
No, you don't understand me because you are part of the company and you're the one that generating all these people for the company, and that's all is to it. You're very good at that.
I have a partnership with Ayush Shakti, and I'm
Well,
grateful for that partnership.
that's right. So if you have a partnership, you're part of it.
Yeah, so actually what the partnership is between Ancient Secrets Foundation and Ayush Shakti, and I can get clear on those details for you and make it totally transparent for you if it's helpful. But what I understand, I just want to see if I can understand you first of all, because I didn't understand you before, according to what you said. But there's a challenge inside of you where you've paid a lot of money for herbs over a period of time. So with Jivan Shakti, you paid a certain amount. You quoted the amount. I think it was $7,000 you paid to Jivan Shakti. With Ayush Shakti, you've paid something like 1,500. And so
No, it
now,
was $10,000 for the other company between me and my wife. If you like to, one of the bills you have, look at it.
okay, so you to Marianne's company, Jivan Shakti, you paid something like $10,000 and you weren't satisfied with how that money was spent. It felt like an overprice for you. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, so
I
tell me.
will pay anything, to get what I need to get. But when I pay all that money, and I do not have the result, 4 days ago, I had another attack, the Dr. Stephen, saved the day.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Stephen. Let me see if I understand you. You paid 10,000 to Jivan Shakti, but you're not dissatisfied with it. You felt like it was money well spent.
There were a lot of good things that happened, but what I needed the most did not happen. And am I blaming anybody? I don't blame anybody. I will pay the price. If I buy a BMW, I'm going to pay the price for BMW, And if I get a Volkswagen, I'm going to get, and I'm going to get from one thing, a more comfort, and luxury. I'm going to get a transportation car, from the other one, and I understand that. No. I don't have a problem spending the money, and I don't have a problem for the price. I have a problem for the result. And you
Uh-huh.
see, after a while, I have no result, zero.
Got
I'm
it.
still having the same situation.
Got it. So there's a certain result you're looking for that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's called arrhythmia, and I still have it.
Okay, so you came hoping there would be a result for arrhythmia. You saw other benefits, but this main situation you haven't seen result for yet.
True.
Is that correct? And so
Absolutely.
when that result hasn't come, then you start to get frustrated about why did I spend this money and the result still hasn't come. Is that what, did I understand that part correctly?
Well, I understand that correctly, but the fact is, that I run businesses for half of my life, and I understand, that you need to have some expenses. Do you really want me to go forward with this? Because I will. And I can tell you something, you the pictures that you have, to those kids in Nepal, wherever they are, God help them, they are the same pictures, that they were 10 years ago. If you go there, and you send all this money, these people, should have, labor clothes, and go to the University of Sorbonne. Do you think, I'm so foolish? I'm not that foolish. I understand the rate of exchange between money. The dollars, at least sometimes, right now, they're worthless. But at some time, they meant something.
Beautiful. Elio, thank you so much for sharing. So you have a concern about, first of all, you have a concern that there's this result you want that hasn't happened yet. Second of all, you have a concern about pricing. What value am I getting for that price? And third, you have a concern about, is this money going towards where we say it's going? These three
So far,
things.
you're very right.
Okay, good. Thank you, Elio. These are all very valid things that you should have in your heart. That's totally acceptable to have those concerns in your heart. I want you to have the results that you come for, ultimately. I want you to understand, first of all, that, oh, yeah, I'm getting 10 times the value of anything that I pay. That's my desire. If ever there's an exchange, I want you to get 10 times the value. And third, I want you to know exactly where the money is going. So you have a good feeling in your heart about what you're supporting and what's happening. Now, Elio, it looks like there's a couple other hands that are raised. I wasn't planning on going in this space, but Aditi Dabababa, thank you for bringing this here. I'm really glad you're here, Elio. I'm very happy you share your heart. And I'm very happy you share your mind. So just 1 second, someone is unmuted right now. So just 1 second. I see Padmalaya has raised her hand. Padmalaya, you have something that you want to share from your heart?
Yes. Hi, Clint, and everyone. Hi, everyone. I wanted to say that I want to acknowledge the validity of Elio's concerns, but I also have a concern that we were talking about Nick, And there are some, really significant things related to Nick and his life. And this is the day of his funeral. And we were right in the middle of discussing that. And I feel this is off topic for the moment. And I would love people to be able to have these kind of concerns addressed, but in a different context. And while we're not in the middle of discussing something else that is actually very important, I have a lot of feeling and concern for the issues related to what we were talking about, Nick himself, and then the issues related to his life. So I would love if we could get back on that track and have these other issues addressed in another context.
Beautiful. Thank you, Padmalaya, for
May I
sharing.
respond?
Yeah, just one second. I just want to see, does anyone else raise your hand if you feel a similar thing as Padmalaya? You're okay talking about both, but you want to have a certain context for the, okay, good. So I see that. Elio, let me ask you this question. I want to address your questions, and I'm even very happy to do it in a public setting. I'm very happy to do it at a time in which it's appropriate. And I do agree with Padmalaya that in this space, there's a lot of people who know and love Nick like you do. And I believe your concerns as well can be addressed. I believe you have them for a reason, and it will be a gift for all of us to be able to hear it and go through it together. Would it be okay if we set a time in which we can talk through those things?
It will be okay if you let me say something right now.
Yeah, please, you can speak right now.
I would like to address the whole audience. As you have heard, Dr. Clint said that he's going to leave within the next 5 minutes. Okay? And we have to sign up pretty soon. Because in the first place, I wanted to sign out as soon as possible for the reason that I wanted to straighten up in my folder that I had all those weeks, of 100-day class. And I would have had access, to the information. So when I start over there, everything is lined up, and I'm going to think of what is happening over there instead of chasing my tail for little stuff, that I missed before. The other thing is about Nick. Nick was in my group, and I know him quite well, and I love the man, and we managed, to create a good report. And there were people in the class like Anna Kadima, that was my co-monitor, and between the two of us, and especially with her help, Nick has changed, and it was changing his mind, in his frame of mind every single time we had a session, and I so badly hoped to see him back on the next session, and that didn't happen. Would that have made a change? A change? I do not know. But
Yeah.
I'm going to always think, what if? Because this group and Nick, were connected deeply. And please forgive me. Yes, it is not in the right place, and it is not the right time, and I understand that. And I'm sorry for doing what I've been doing. But you see, things are happening fast and furious.
Sure.
And I
How
have
about,
to take care of what I have to take care of at this moment.
Elio, are you
Because I have
free?
to sign a piece of paper, and
Are
I
you,
do not want me to get something that I don't want to get. I want to pay for the course.
absolutely. Are you available tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Elio?
I believe so.
Sorry about that. Let me just see. There was someone that came off mute. You're available tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific?
Yes.
Okay, so for anyone who wants to hold this conversation, any Q&A about the 1 year or any program that we're running, please come. You can come on the same Zoom link tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, and we'll be able to address all those concerns and questions. And I'd love to go through that in detail with you, Elio. And I respect you, Elio. I feel like you're as important as anyone that's here. And whatever concerns you have that are troubling your heart, that were blocking the perception of how to move forward, then we can talk about all that stuff. And I honor you and thank you for being here, Elio.
I thank you all. I love you all. The reason I came back, it was because of you all.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
love you all from the bottom of my heart. Okay?
I feel that Elio.
Anything else, I took the course and I intended to take the course for the same reason. I remember Carol says, why are you going for the course? She says, because I love the people. And I do too.
Elio, would you be okay if we love on you in this moment? Would that be
Oh,
okay?
the other day when I asked for energy, I was in the middle of a major crisis.
Yeah,
Super.
I know. I can tell there's a lot happening in your life. So if everyone, we can just send so much love to Elio in exactly this space he's in right now. Just put your hands together. And Elio, it's for you and for your wife and for all your heart.
I
All
thank
your,
you.
sending you so much love. I love you and I'm with you, Elio. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elio. What a gift. What a gift, Padmalaya, and everyone who's on this call. It's a good demonstration of there's so many forces in our lives. There's so many forces in our lives and so much programming is there. And so many things that can disturb our hearts, and really when I say this, and I've said it before, I really mean it. I don't feel like we're building something here. I feel like it's building us. We're not growing something here, it's growing us. And the opening quote in the book, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. Also, I feel like it's equally valid to say I didn't come. Yeah, it's like even Dr. Ram, he says there's different kinds of power that exist on the planet. There's business power, like money power. There's religious power, there's political power, but what happens in the field of, in this realm of ancient secrets is different from any of that. It's the power of the heart. We're not building a company, we're not building a business, although there are businesses that I partner with that I feel like it's helpful so we can get the herbs to people or different things can benefit the planet. But I do feel like what we're doing here in this space is we're learning from each other in the messy way sometimes. And it's something that in my life, friends like, I don't know if Gary Malkin is on this call yet. Looks like he's not. Cornelia, can you cue up letting yourself be loved? Letting yourself be loved.
Yes, it's already queued.
Okay, in this space of all the dynamics of our lives, all the pressures, in my first 10 days of silence that Dr. Naram sent me to, I realized that so many of the games I was playing, I had a PhD and I traveled that year in 40 countries and had so many awards and so many things. I saw that most of the things I was doing were just games invented by other people. University isn't a real concept. It was invented by humans at some point in time, and you play this game and you get a PhD. I saw that countries aren't real things. It was just invented by humans at a certain point in time. The first astronaut in space looked down at Earth. There's no lines between the countries that he saw on maps. There's not an us versus them. There's just an us, like Elio said from his heart. That kind of an us, and us building something together, and love building something through us is why I'm here. Same thing I saw about money. Money isn't a real thing. It hasn't existed in all of human history. It was invented by people at some point in time. And then all of a sudden it becomes such a functional thing in which we operate so much of our lives by. I see many people on this call who don't actually operate their lives by that. They live in a different way. So I believe that together in this space, as you're asking yourself, what do you want? What do you want? You'll discover things that perhaps not only make your life better, but make life better for all of us on this planet, make life better for all of humanity, because we're all interconnected. Gandhi said, whenever one person suffers, we all suffer to that same extent. And whenever anyone is blessed, we're all lifted to that same extent. And one thing I think that all of us can do is be more loving, be more loving when people are in pain. And it's often hurt people, and sometimes the love is needed most for the people who it looks like they deserve it the least, It's easy to love people who it's easy to love, but sometimes the hardest people to love are those who need it the most. And so in the space, if you ever find it hard to love yourself, or you find it hard to forgive anyone, then I want you, as you're listening to this music created by Gary Malkin, by Lou Epstein, just thinking about how short life is. Think about how precious each day is. Close your eyes and just allow these words to wash over you. think about what would you want the last words you speak to someone that you love be. And then after this, I'll let Jaina take over. And I see Devananda and Glenda, other people have certain things to share. But if you can just close your eyes. And Cornelia, when you share your screen, can you do it where you optimize for video and for audio? Just click those two boxes.
Dr. Clint, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
I talked to Nick sent me a message a few days before he passed.
Mhm.
And would it be okay for me to read it to you guys before the music?
Yeah,
Because
please, Linda, that would be beautiful.
this is for dedicated for him. And I've been trying to share this. I shared this to Cornelia. I am sorry that I wasn't able to share this to you. So it's in WhatsApp. So let me open it.
Mm.
He said, he was our break room one at the end of the last Sunday of November, and so I had a feeling there's something going on with him. So I sent him a message if there's something that I can help him with. And so his response to me, he said, "Hi Gigi, thanks for reaching out. My living situation hasn't been resolved yet, but I had the feeling that I am where I am supposed to be right now. I'm hoping to learn what I need to from my current situation so I can move forward soon. Atiti Divubawa. I'm sorry if I caused you so much concern. At times, I probably express the pain I'm experiencing too much. Feeling your love and support is enough for now. Thanks again for reaching out." And he said, "Also, I only pick up free Wi-Fi sporadically, so I may be slow responding." So anyway, that's the one that I want to share with you guys.
Thank you
That
for sharing that, Glenda.
I tried to reach out Dr. Clint, but I feel like I didn't do enough. But I think that's what he said is attitude for power for him.
You know, I think one of the most common things that can happen is we say, what if I could have done more? You know, what if I could have done something else? And I want to speak directly to this community. You did so much. You did so much. And in circumstances like this, you know, it's just a matter of loving what you have done and what else we can do, how it changes us, how this moment changes us. We can't change the actions of anyone outside of us, but we can pay attention to how it touches our heart and what action it inspires inside of us. You know, one thing that I'm starting actually this month is I'm starting a group for anyone that struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts. We're just a chance where people can meet and be totally honest about what's happening in their life and support each other by applying the ancient secrets and anything else that they feel like will help them in that space. And that's one way in which it's shifted me. At the funeral, Nick's best friend spoke, and his best friend he's been with him, his best friend for probably 30 some years. And he actually spoke to Nick an hour before Nick passed on. And he shared from his heart so beautifully, both him, his brother, his mom, in such a way that it provided such a healing space for all of us to move past any of the what ifs into what now? What now? You know, as you're listening to this piece, letting yourself be loved, instead of saying, what could I have done differently? It's what do I commit to now? What commitment is love inspiring inside of me? And it could be different for every one of us. That's why having a journal is so valuable. As you're listening, pay attention, you know, listen with your heart to what love tells you, with what love inspires in you. Because it's not about what if or what could I have changed, it's about what now? What now? Maybe love will inspire you to forgive something inside of you. It's been hard to forgive. Maybe it's reconnecting with someone that you haven't been connected with, reaching out and saying, thank you for being this role in my life. Who knows what it's going to be inside of you, but as you listen to this, I really inspire you. I not really inspire you. I really encourage you, invite you to say, what now? What now? What is love? How is love guiding me? Cornelia, if you can play that.
I think I picked the wrong one. Give me 1 second. That was the one without the
It was absolutely beautiful, Cornelia. It's a
yeah,
beautiful space.
yeah.
It was beautiful.
Just do that again. And because I would like you to actually listen to the words. Just hold the space for a moment. Think about either Nick. Think about someone you really love and feel into yourself what it means for you to be loved.
If we could, just reach up to your earlobes and press 6 times. And even do 6 times 6. It's beautiful. Self-love, Marma. And then also, as we're listening to it too, you can hold on to your forgive and forget, Marma. And do the forgive and forget, Marma.
Okay, I'm ready.
Thank you.
No one has ever prepared us for this experience. We think it's the end. No. It's another beginning. Another beginning. It's knowing that you're loved. Knowing that you're loved. It's not easy letting yourself be loved. Of course, we've learned to judge ourselves. And we're always judging ourselves. But I learned to listen, that I was loved. I was loved. And then I would forget that I was loved. Those were the most painful times for me. Forgetting that I was loved. So you've let yourself be loved while you've been here. And you've judged yourself. And you've forgotten that you were loved. And you became alone. But you will always be here. You are blessed. You are forgiven. You are an angel. You have to listen that you're loved. And you have to forgive all the time. Listen that you're loved. And forgive all the time. You are love. Farewell, my son. Farewell, my daughter. Farewell, my father. Farewell, my mother. Farewell, my sister. Farewell, my brother. Thank you for letting me love you. Thank you for letting yourself be loved. bless you.
What a perfect song. What a perfect conversation. What a perfect day. Before the call started, my intention for this call was to flow with the roller coaster of emotions that existed. I had no idea it would be such a ride. But I'm so grateful for it because every single thing that has been said on this call so far has been so important and so pertinent. I'm sure that each person has been affected. I'm just making an assumption. I want to open it up. I want to open up a conversation with the audience, with all of you guys. You know, what is on your heart? While you're thinking about that, you know, these last few weeks have just been, they've been very active. And I'll share with you a little bit later, but I want to hear from Daniel. Daniel, will you turn on your video and unmute yourself?
Hi. Thank you, Jana. As you said, I was for a ride on this call. First, I'm glad that I stayed because I was gonna leave the call, but I knew, I would have to take on a TD Devo Brava, and I had something to learn. And I want to say that I'm grateful because I saw a person with pain, and I saw a person teaching me a lesson on how to hear, to listen to someone in pain. I saw someone applying unconditional love. It was a lesson to me. While in the middle of this, there was something also very important on the purpose, but I think while we were playing this song, it came the sensation to me this all happened in a perfect order beyond my understanding. So, and there was a lot of lessons to me, including the lesson of dealing with death and people's emotions. There was also another lesson that it's okay to feel, it's okay to express, and we don't need to be afraid of even conflicts. I grew up and I had a lot of fear of conflicts because of my parents fighting, and that have played in the past in my marriage, and I would avoid conflicts, differences like this. But that was a lesson for me, it's okay. Because when we hear and we validate and we don't take personal, we help to heal. So in, I think there's a lot of lessons to hear, to learn at this moment in honor to Nick. It's beyond the thinking, you know, it's beyond the mind. But like I believe love heals all, and here in this situation too. And like Elia said, we are all together. We see sometimes the small picture, but there is a bigger picture, and this all. Oh, thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Daniel. So beautifully said. I truly agree. You know, the lesson with the conflict. You know, it's important that we understand that the conflict is there for a reason. And when we address it, communicate it, bring it out into the light, and face it with love, that there's a solution. It was a very big lesson for me today. Thank you. Sangeeta, I would love to hear from you. It's okay.
I actually wanted to share something that happened yesterday, and it's about forgiving. And somehow I think it would be relevant here as well. And actually, about a year ago, somebody I know requested for some money, and I didn't have the money, but I took some loan from the bank, and I gave the money. He said it's going to be for only 2 months and I'll give it back to you. But then month after month, it like he was paying the installment, but his situation wasn't. I mean, probably there was times when he was, although he would give the installments, but he had not keep up to his promise of doing it in 2 months. And somehow I kind of talked to him yesterday, and about him lying to me and those kind of things. But after talking to him, I somehow I felt in my heart that, I mean, although he might have lied to me, or I mean, because the same thing has happened to some other person, like the relatives that I know. So they are also in a kind of similar situation. So, okay, the person has lied to me. Okay, that's fine. And somehow situations was like, probably I was like more emotional as well, because of the current situation of losing the job, etc., and that kind of brought up so many things when I had the conversation with him. So, but after I had the conversation, I felt, even, I mean, if he had lied to me, that was his part. But if I keep this grudge inside me, or if I feel that he's like that kind of feeling towards him, then how is it going to help me? So, and all of a sudden I felt like I don't know where this love came for that person. And I said, okay, I'm not going to ask anymore. Whenever he will give it to me. So it's okay. And I still have this body and hands, and I can still kind of carry on with my living, but I don't have to kind of put him in trouble by asking him again and again. And that was a big relief, actually, not having to hold that inside my heart. Thank you.
So beautiful. Sankita, what you're talking about is so very true. You know, you made a decision and you did it to support and to love. And it's beautiful that you've made the decision to let that go, because
Yes.
you did face it. You did talk to him about it. You did try to make a resolution. Yeah. And, you know, at those times, if we choose to hold on to that, it does poison us.
Yes.
You know, this week I've really been aware of the part in the book where Dr. Clint says that Dr. Naram told him that anything is a medicine or a poison. Even your life's work can be a poison. And I say to this, Sankita, that even if you hold on to a grudge or the negativity, it can be a poison. So thank you for sharing your heart. It's beautiful. Let's give Sankita some love. Thank you, you beautiful soul. Andrea, would you like to say something?
Yes. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to say, namaste, family, namaste. I want to talk about the tuition costs that was brought up earlier by Elio. Just want to let you know, I am one of the faces of those who benefited from the scholarship. So those of you who paid your regular tuition, it enabled me and others to attend these wonderful programs. I suffer from a brain injury that took away all my words and my short-term memory and my balance. And I'm fighting like hell because I was given hope by this book and the Ayush Shakti Clinic. Because when my doctor called me with my diagnosis, I asked him if I could live with my condition, and he said nothing. He didn't say yes, nor did he say no. And I was in Target, and I must have walked around that store for about 30 minutes pushing a shopping cart. And then I walked out of there buying nothing. I don't even know how I drove home because I was in a complete daze. But he also gave me a referral to another specialist, which had I called him, would have left me in a worse state. So thank you for paying what's required of you, because of these treatments. And yes, every word you're hearing now, I've had to relearn. Every word. And every day, I get a new word on my phone from dictionary.com, and I'm relearning every new word. And some words stick and some don't. And I have to relearn them and relearn them. So if you find that I'm a bit persnickety with my words, you'll understand. Because words are everything to me. And I listen to Jaina like a record of how she's this wordsmith, how she just dances in and around those words. They flow so easily for her. Well, they don't come so easily for me. And you know, when I met with Dr. Hemang recently, and he gave me my prescription, he said something no other doctor could tell me. He said, I will get better. Now, I've never told my family about my diagnosis. You know why? because they can't help me. So it would just become gossip. So thank you for paying your share, because it has enabled me to participate in these programs. I can't even tell you what I've learned through the 100-day program. And now as we're embarking on the 3-year, my God, can you imagine? I want to be that person to tell someone, you can get better. You can get better. It means the world to me to hear those words. So thank you, family. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you, every one of you. You've impacted my life in ways I could never show you or tell you. You will never know how much I appreciate each of you, how you've contributed to my life, to my existence. And so when I say this book is saving my life, it is saving my life, each word at a time. So thank you. Jane, I love you. Cornelia, I love you. Rochelle, Dr. Clint, Elio, you are so courageous. I love you too. You always talk up and speak up. I love a fighter. Fight on, because you're teaching me how to fight. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much.
I cannot even imagine this course or this group without Andrea. Let's send her some love. Thank you. What Andrea doesn't know about me is that I have spent years, every single day, studying so that I can have the appropriate words. Was out of anxiety. So, my dear sister, you're not so far from me. Your studying and your desire to learn those words is what helps you speak so beautifully to us. Thank you. Susie, would you like to speak? You're muted, Susie.
Yeah, I have to pull over because I'm driving. All right. So I have to, Andrea said it so beautifully, because I too am benefiting from the scholarship. And I have someone to thank. His name is Scott Peter-Wolf. He killed himself in college in the night that he committed suicide. He threw a party and wrote a letter to, going through all his belongings. And I attended that party with a friend, and we left the party, and halfway across campus, we both stopped at the same time and looked at each other and said, whoops, we forgot to say goodbye to Scott. And we turned around and walked all the way back, found him at the party, and gave him a hug and said goodbye. And then the next day we found out that he had killed himself. And I too questioned why. Obviously I had some intuitive to turn around and go back and say goodbye. I struggled with that for a very long time. But what he did is he saved my life. Because I too was contemplating killing myself. And through a lot of hard work and dedication to living my life when I made that decision to say yes to life, no matter what. My realization was that I was dying. My old self, my false self, this is my realization, was dying. And I could have followed through with that because I was attached to the false self. But somehow, some way, my guardian angels, my teachers that were unseen to me and unknown to me, stepped up and opened a door when another door closed and allowed me to live my life no matter what. And I'm very grateful for that lesson. And I'm sorry that Scott's not with us all these years. He would have made an amazing veterinarian. But that's what he chose to do. Can't change what has happened. But I can live my life, my way, in honor of his life.
Susie, that's beautiful.
So those are the decisions that I have made for myself. And I would like to say one more thing, because this is I'm not ashamed anymore. I was when this first happened to me, but I loaned an exorbitant amount of money to a friend of mine that I trusted, over $50,000. Most likely will never see that money when I could really use it now. When I sold my home, I gave it to him. And the irony is so he could have a home. I've been homeless since September of 2019. I've been living at friends' homes. And I'm living on fumes. And I trust that this too shall pass. No matter what, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm so grateful and so thankful to everyone here on this call and this group with my soul family, because you all lift me up when I can barely walk, or I'm crawling, or I'm in bed. Because you guys see me on my good days. So thank you, and I love you all.
Let's send Susie some love. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Susie. This week, Susie called me and I was having a tough day. And she listened to me and asked very poignant questions. And it was like a switch of love that was burst inside of me, and I was shocked. And I thought to myself, this girl is truly listening to me from her heart, and she truly cares and is concerned. She has so much love in her. She is an incredible healer, and I'm so grateful to her and that personal experience that I shared. And this is not the first time that I've had that shock come to me, because I talk to a lot of people. And when I receive like that, it's very eye-opening. Susie is an amazing healer, and I cannot imagine this group without her. So thank you. Deborah would love to hear what's on your heart.
Wow, what a morning. This has been, this call has been a blessing, a big blessing. I I learned, just like Daniel, I learned so very much about myself and how I respond to people. I am currently trying to figure out how to repair a relationship with a neighbor because of something that I said. And it wasn't a kind thing that I said. And it was in response to an unkind thing that she was saying. And so it's been weeks. I haven't been able to repair the situation. And today, Ilio, you gave me such a gift. Because you're sharing, or you're opening your heart and putting out there what you needed to say, allowed me to see a real live human being understanding another human being. Watching how Clint responded and really wanted to understand, and then repeated back, and then he didn't understand, and then it like took 3 rounds before he really said what you were saying back to you. And that took me through lots of things. My initial response is fear when someone's angry. Working through that, and then watching, like I said, watching the interchange, I learned so much. And I learned how I might in the future love someone by understanding them. So I thank you, and everyone that has shared. It has been a very big blessing to me. Thank you.
Deborah, thank you so much for your words, because I too felt that same exact thing. And as I'm sure so many of us did. Let's give Deborah some love. Thank you, Deborah. Michael, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, and hello, everybody. So I would like to try to share also what's on my heart, what arose in my heart during listening to the music. And for me, so it for me was quite like sudden rise of emotions, and I cried also. And it is about yesterday. So when I met with a girl who I like loved for a long time, and we never like had anything with each other, but for a long time I've been in love with her, and I have expressed it many times, but she always she never felt the same way. And yesterday it was her birthday, and I thought that I'm like okay with our relationship, etc. And so went to the birthday, met with all other friends, and then I saw like her and her boyfriend, and they're buying a house and going on with their life. And again, I felt this, what I thought was not inside of me, or I thought it was the relationship was clear, but I again felt this longing for love, and this feeling like, why is not it this way? Like, this is the perfect woman for me. So why is she like going other way than I am? And this feeling stuck with me for the whole evening, and also in the morning. And now I am very glad to have like released it somehow during the music, to have been able to cry, because it was like stuck dry in myself, in my heart, and now it could move. And I could like feel this, that I am loving, and this is okay to love, and it's then okay and necessary to forgive if I have some thoughts about how it should be, that she's like the perfect woman, but if it's not the way, then it's not the way. So I would rather trust this love that accept me loving her. It's okay to love her, and it's also okay that she is living with another man, and I can forgive that it's not the way I want, but I can still keep the love. I don't have to like squeeze it and say no, I can't love her. Like I can love her, I can love anybody or everybody, and be open to this. So I guess that's the realization, and I really wanted to share it. So thank you. This is what troubled me now.
Oh, Miguel, so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Jana, if you allow me to just share quickly,
Yes.
because we have Gary Malkin actually now on the call, and what Mikhail just shared, Gary, was actually because we were listening to one of your songs, Let Yourself Be Loved. So that is what came up in him by listening to your music and the words of Lou.
Yes.
So beautiful to hear that. And I just am so touched that the purpose of that experience was exactly how he received it. This quality of knowing that we're loved, that we can love no matter what anyone else feels or thinks, that our birthright is to love. We are love. So just such a moving testimony. I just wanted to apologize for I've been trying to get on for an hour, but I've been in a motel that had bad Wi-Fi and haven't been able to get over it. So through it, but I figured out a way to hack it and found out that you guys shared letting yourself be loved. And I wanted to have the opportunity to share it also because I didn't know what happened to Nick until a few days ago, because I've just been in shock about it. I've been really, really grieving the loss of that beloved, beautiful member of our community. And just, that's just wanted to register my presence, my gratitude for being here. I apologize that I wasn't here sooner, but I'm so happy that letting yourself be loved was experienced, and I'll say one last thing, which is just one of the reasons why I'm so grateful to have Clint as my compadre in bringing wisdom of the world to the world. Our Wisdom of the World Wellness is my website that brings wisdom keepers to people's hearts through the power of music, right? And the power of music to upgrade our frequency, right? And when Thich Nhat Hanh passed away about 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, and then the end of suffering went all over the world again, just like crazy. It just was such a blessing and a confirmation that when we set your wisdom to music, just even if you like put on a beautiful piece of music in the background, it doesn't have to be mine, and then speak wisdom that to yourself with this music in the background, and then put it on your iPhone and listen to it before you go to bed at night and feel the love from you to you with music in the background. It will be something that never gets old. And this is one of the things that's so remarkable about music, is when it's the right music resonating with the right message, the gift it gives us is it awakens us from the slumber of forgetting that we're loved, forgetting who we really are. So just what an honor and a privilege to be able to have created that kind of work and to touch hundreds of thousands of people. But in this moment, my beloved friends, thank you so much for receiving the work for which it was intended. And I love you and I'm with you. Thank you for letting me say something. And I just think something so remarkable about the courage of the sharings that I've heard this morning around being vulnerable, being wholehearted, being transparent, and feeling safe. How rare is that you all can feel safe to reveal your experience like this, and to know that you're surrounded by love. So thank you for letting me share this in this moment. Cornelia, I love you both. I love you all my love. Take care.
Thank you, Gary. Maybe before we end the call, we might be able to hear that piece of music too, if that's okay, Gary, if you're going to be able to stay with us.
What are you referring to? Because I thought you played Letting Yourself Be Loved already. Oh, you mean the Thich Nhat Hanh track?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, well, I thought, oh, whatever serves. Whatever serves.
If you, I would love to hear another piece from you, because everybody in this community knows that Gary's music has touched a part of me to be healed, just like Miguel. Gary's music is very healing. He has a very special gift. So grateful for him. Miguel, thank you so much for sharing. So Gary, whatever you choose, that would be great. If it's that one or another one, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Well, just let me know when, and I will get something ready for everybody. And I'll try not to have it be more than a few minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Anything longer
Okay.
would be too much, I think, at this point.
I love hearing from everybody in the community. Thank you so much. And Jamie, I would like to hear from you next.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I joined about 20 minutes late or so because I was feeling very negative and I didn't want to bring a bunch of negativity or low feelings to the group. And of course, it's the perfect day to be feeling the way I am and to share. So I had a lot of revelations yesterday and today, and I don't know what was going on in the beginning of the call. I caught the tail end of Dr. Clint's, I guess, last round with understanding Elio. And I too have been a beneficiary of the scholarship. I'm so grateful to be able to be a part of this community. And yesterday in our lecture, we learned about how Dr. Smita and the other lecturers were talking about having the right client and right person, and they have to meet certain qualities. They have to be open, and they have to, open their heart and be willing to believe and accept these, what my friends and everybody said when I tried it, weird stuff. And so I talked to my mom yesterday, and I had mentioned to a mutual nursing friend of ours, my mom lives out of state. And so on Facebook Messenger, I sent a message to somebody that had just recovered from cancer, and she's all clear, but she was, asking me about things that she could do to stay healthy and to do good things for her body to help keep the cancer away. And so I shared with her about, what I had done. She asked about how I had done healing for my eye, that my mom told her that I was recovered and this and that. And so I shared with her on Facebook Messenger. And then later I had this inkling to call my mom, and I called her, and I didn't tell her about the PATH program because she's very negative and she doesn't really support me. When I was in nursing school, if I had a tough day or a really hard test that I didn't make a good grade on, she would always tell me, well, you should just quit. You should just quit. I don't even think nursing is for you. You should just quit and just be a bartender. You can be a server and a bartender, and you can make a decent life, and you don't need to do this nursing thing. By the way, my mom is also a registered nurse. And, of course I didn't listen, and I had a single parent, and I worked 2 jobs, and my daughter was 6 years old when I went into the 3-year program for nursing. And that always sticks inside of me, and it hurts because I want her to support me. And even I could make straight A's in school and, hundreds on all my tests, but, I didn't go perfect attendance, or there's always something that I just didn't do right, and I didn't do enough. And I feel like I was always wanting her to just accept me, and I do great things, And so of course, so we started talking. She said, oh, will you message so-and-so? She said you sent her some links with some information about stuff. What's all this stuff about? And, she's happy that my eye is healed and I've had this prognosis. And, if a couple of years from now, if I listen to the medical doctors that said I was incurable, they were telling me in a couple of years I would be blind in one eye and probably both, and that I was going to develop MS, and that I'd be bedridden in 5 to 10 years, which was 2.5 years ago, and I'm completely not. And so she knows this has happened, but still, so I tell her about the program, and I tell her that I was so grateful to receive a scholarship, and that's the only reason I was able to commit to it. She says, well, how can you commit to something like this? You're so busy and you don't have the money and your job is unstable because of the things going on in the job market where you live. And and she was just so down and negative, and I didn't even want to tell her about it. And so then I spent the night last night wondering, am I doing the right thing? Am I taking away opportunities from somebody else? Is there, should I really be doing this? And then I felt that way this morning, and I almost didn't want to join the call because I was so frustrated and angry with the way I felt about my mom, and not so much about her, but that I have so much trouble letting it go. And I thought about Dr. Smita saying that you have to have a patient that wants your help. They have to be willing. And I just thought, my mom is not the right patient. She would not be willing to try this stuff and do this stuff. And it's a waste of my energy to even try to explain to her how wonderful it makes me feel and how empowered it is. And I even asked her to join the Sunday calls and to be inspired and to feel this, love and community. And I'm so grateful, because without the scholarship, I wouldn't have been able to make the commitment. And it's something I truly want to help. And the community I serve as a nurse is underserved community. I've spent my life serving the low income and poor communities because they don't get quality care, and people brush them off, and I spend the extra time. And that's where I want to spend my knowledge and skill with, people that have tons of money that can go to great hospitals and have great nursing care and nursing homes. So I just hope that, my mom said, oh, well, of course they give you a scholarship now, but they've probably got you on the hook for the next few years and you'll owe them all this money and this and that. And I said, well, what if I can pay the money? And what if, things change? You never know. And I'm just trying to be positive. And I didn't even want to tell her about it. I was so excited and I wanted to share with her, but I knew she wouldn't be positive, and I didn't want her to bring me down. And I'm just so happy I got that over with yesterday. And I got it over with, and it happened after the call, and we had a great lesson that coincided with, it was just a realization of what I learned in the path lesson yesterday. And thank you all for listening. And I just love this community. I join as many calls as I can because it just feels so good. And I didn't want to bring anyone down, but it seems like everybody is just here bringing everybody up as usual. Thank you so much.
Amy, we're so glad that you're here. So glad that you're
I love
here.
you all. Thank you. I love you. And I'm with you. We're all here together. And it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you.
Amy, thank you so much. I hear that challenge where where you want to be loved and accepted by your mother, loved and accepted. I believe that there's probably each one of us have somebody in our life that we want to be loved and accepted. But thank you so much for your vulnerability. And we're so glad that you are here. Thank you. You know what? Let's send her, and we didn't send Miguel. Let's send them both a little love bomb. Just receive, both of you. It's beautiful love. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jane, can I bring the chant that is coming now?
Sure.
Hoyomaye yadanam, hoyomaye namaham, hoyomaye namaham, horimaye namaham, siaran namaho, siaran namahe, yaham sioyo namaham tanaye, siaran namaha, siaran namaha, yarade, harade, yahom naham, Yalale, 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 yalalam, yorosot yamam, yarane namaham, yorale, yorale namaha, yorale namaha yaralo yaranam naham yaranam naham suryam mahayanam haranam yarale yahom yarale hayam tiara namaye saya tiara namaye yarom saraya yarom saranam nanae tataya namaya yarale yaralo sayamam yaralo sayamam yaralo sanaye sarayam yaralo yarale yaralam haya yarale harayo yare yaham yarale yaho naham yaraham namaho.
Anna, that was absolutely beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you.
Can I share something very quick?
Yes.
Okay. And this is for everyone. I'm sorry because I'm moving right now, and so I have all this in my background. But basically, one of the things that Dr. Naran teach is become, right? When you talk about becoming the healer, becoming the person that transforms lives, becoming the person that transforms your own life, that are able to change and manifest whatever it is that life throws at you, and you use that as a filter to and you understand things in a different way. Understand healing cannot happen by bringing something from the outside. That's the reason why Dr. Naram always asks, what do you want? What is inside of you, right? That is the question. What do you want? And once you know and are certain of the things that you want, it's way easier to work with you. If you are just trying to take the herbs to try to heal something, but you don't believe or you are second guessing the change, it's not going to happen. If you're trying to change your financial situation, so get the knowledge inside of you to be able to transform other lives from the outside, just by reading books, is not going to happen. But if you're able to embrace, to raise your energy to the level, when we talk about chakras, it's your higher chakras, not the physical, the ones that talk about duality, differences, changes, power, what is good and what is wrong. But the other ones where everything is right, where everything is correct. You know, this lady, I apologize because I'm not seeing the screen, that just sharing about these situations with her mother. Her mother is doing all the things that she's doing to her out of love, because that is the way that she thinks, that is bringing love to her child, you know, trying to help her, to protect her from getting disappointments, from getting frustrations, from taking a road that is different that she don't understand. And it's always like that. People always give us something because they think that that is the best way to give it to us, you know, what we really need. So that is just a very quick contribution. We are all in this journey. I've been working with people for many years. I spent thousands of thousands in equipment and other modalities. They all work, but this is very beautiful. This ancient secrets is like, take the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the transformation through food. It's like a whole thing, and that is why it's creating so many changes. And I'm very, very eager to learn more and more about it. But like I said, it's always like that. This is being able to come from within, to raise above the duality, and then open yourself, because life is going to throw at you things that you are not prepared for. And that is a good thing. Because if you are getting things that you are prepared for, that you are used to, then there's no change happening in your life. Everything is the same and it will remain the same. But when you start walking into the unknown, into the places where you don't understand, where you don't know what's going to happen, and go there with fear and everything, but you still go there, then you are allowing life to bring to you transformation and changes. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to meet with most of you guys.
Thank you so much for your words of wisdom and your words from experience. So thank you so much. Is it? I want to make sure that I say it correctly. Is it Savitri? Savitri?
Yes, Savitri.
Savitri, would you please share with us?
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm on the call for the first time because I was invited by Tara and Ramarishi, and I'm so grateful to be here. And I just want to give a little story about how I was encouraged to get the book and read it. I actually listened to it on Audible. And right after I started to sort of digest the message and talking to Ramarishi and Tara about their amazing experiences, my cat was diagnosed with a terminal disease and there was no cure. And the book really, really helped me just push that aside. And that's, we'll say, well, you know, the cat has to be euthanized and all that. But because of the book, and because of my own deeply held beliefs, I just felt sure that there was a miracle around the corner. And it just so happens that I got COVID. The minute I got the diagnosis, I came down with a real bad case of COVID, and so did my roommate. And I was monitoring her, you know, our oxygen levels. And there was at one point should have probably gone to the hospital, but both of us have strongly held religious beliefs, and we're not vaccinated, and there was a problem in my state, et cetera, et cetera. So we were trying to stay out of the hospital. And at the same time, we were trying to save the cat. And I really have to say the book gave us, all of us, the impetus to just have hope. And just reading all the stories about the amazing healings and what we deeply wanted helped us to find all the solutions. And I put together a protocol for the cat with various different antivirals, and he's just thriving now. And all the fever and all the infections and all the loss of appetite have completely resolved at this point. And we got well also. And so I'm so grateful, just because I believe that the book had a lot of healing just by reading it. And I'm very grateful to be here. And I also had been, you know, meditating on Thich Nhat Hanh a lot. And when we were finding
possible to practice
when we were finding a way,
living
excuse me,
in the here and the now. That's what we call patience. But you have to sit silently with yourself.
Who's unmuted? Thank you. Go ahead. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
So it was deeply meaningful to me, the exchanges from the very beginning of this call, because I'm really working on meaningful and calm. You know, I've been watching Thich Nhat Hanh and his message of peace, and the peaceful way of responding and of communicating is something that I'm long overdue to try to imbibe. So this was very meaningful on many levels this day today with you all, and I just want to give my thanks and praises. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. What a beautiful, beautiful exchange. So grateful for Ramarishi and Tara for inviting you. We welcome you to this community, and this community is so full of love. And I'm hoping that it shows that, you know, this call has been so full of love. I know Gary Malcolm needs to, thank you so much. I hope that you come back. Thank you. Gary needs to be leaving soon, and I would really like Gary to share the message, his music. And so Gary, if you could cue that up next, and I would like Robin, Esther, Denise, and Dr. Stephen to be able to share with us. So I would like to have Gary do his music, and with the time being that it is, if you know whoever needs to jump off the call can, but I would sure love to continue this beautiful conversation. This is really a very vulnerable and heartfelt space. So Gary, are you available? I'm not seeing him.
Yes, I am.
Oh, there you are. Wonderful.
Yes, I am. And because of the time factor, I had something that was called the direct experience of love with me and Sarah McCrum. But given that you have so many other people you want to hear from, why don't I just do a short, do you know how beautiful you are again? And we'll do it as a spotlighting opportunity for people to look at one another and take in each other's beauty. And that way it'll only be 3 minutes rather than 7 minutes. It sounds like that would be useful, right?
I think that would be beautiful. Cornelia, are you in a position where you'd be able to do the spotlighting?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Okay. What I want to ask is this. I'd like us to develop the capacity to not let our eyes take us away from our engagement with our internal experience and with our heart and souls. I'd like us to be grounded and feel the ground under your feet. Try to get anything off your lap. And I'd like us to practice this multisensory art form of listening as cleaning our hearts and souls and regulating ourselves into balance. There's been a lot of deep emotion in this call. And it's really important that we allow ourselves to fully grieve, but then fully ground in our listening, in our ability to self-regulate that all is well, right? So I was going to do a track that would last longer than that so that we can really practice that self-regulation. But I really feel the need is, given that many more people want to speak, that let's practice the art of receiving listening as cleaning, listening as connecting to our hearts and souls, coming back home to all is well in ourselves, but also allowing ourselves to look at the beauty of everyone in this call as a way of almost like we're all in one room together, circling our energies with our hearts and our arms around one another. I'm going to get this track, and I just don't let your eyes take you away from the direct experience inside of you. And hold on, let me find the track. Bear with me. Sorry about that. I had another track ready for you, but you've heard this before. But this seems like good medicine at the moment. So bear with me.
So everyone, we invite you to turn on your videos so that we can share and express our love to each and every one of you.
If you want to.
If you want to.
You're
Thank you.
feeling capable of sharing your capacity to give the compassion that comes through your eyes without losing yourself. Now there's no way to do this wrong. We're all learning. But don't do it if you feel like you need to or should.
Oh no, Gary, your internet seems to be a little unstable.
All right.
I think Gary might have frozen. Gary, I'm not sure that your internet is connecting.
All right. Well, do you have
Cornelia be able to pull up the right one?
Do you have the track that's called Beautiful in the archive that I gave Clint by any chance?
We can hear you now, Gary. It might have just been a moment.
All right, let's just try this. Hold on. Bear with me. Let's just all take a deep breath together. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here, you guys. Do you know? Here we go. All right. Hopefully this will work and my connection will be good. Here we go. Remember, be inside and listening. Here we go.
Do you know how beautiful you are? Have you ever stopped to look at yourself? To see yourself in your truth? In the clarity of who you are? In your magnificence? If only you could see what I can see. If only you could know what I know of you. You would stand before yourself in awe. You would see yourself you would feel yourself. You would know yourself. And so I invite you in this moment to see how beautiful you are. To see yourself in clarity, in simplicity, in your true nature. I invite you to see yourself. You are so beautiful.
Just relate to the silence now that the music has irrigated our hearts and souls. Feel the connection to the field, the connection to every person on this call and every person that's ever been on this call. And feel the power of coming home to the oneness inside ourselves and with each other, as only music can bring us together like that. Let's all take one deep breath together as one and hold it. Inhale. Hold it for a sec. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for giving yourselves that experience. I love you and I'm with you.
Thank you, Gary. Love you. So glad that you are part of us. So grateful. Robin, would you like to speak?
Oh, am I unmuted already?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. All right. So today I'm going to put gallery back on if I can, so I can find Elio. Because, you know, with the money part, then I got that, and I'm very grateful for those who put in the full amount so that I can be part of the 3-year program. But the real thing that I got was that, Elio, that you brought up that you had this arrhythmia thing that you had another episode of. And because we always bring our best, we bring our stories once we have gotten results. And we don't always bring, you know, we might bring to our pod the challenges that we're facing, but we don't necessarily bring our big challenges and worries to the whole group. And so when you brought up the thing about your arrhythmia, then I'm like, well, see, Elio's pains are the same as Nick's pains. You know, that it's like, I don't know how to solve this problem yet. And I'm stressed and I'm worried because I don't know how to solve this problem yet. And then it brought to mind that Dr. Clinton, various teachers keep bringing up that Dr. Naram would say the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your questions. And I have so much across the last 30 years that I've been on this self-help journey so I don't get chemical sensitivity and I don't get liver cancer like my parents did. Then, you know, I have these things, it's like, aren't I done with that yet? Whether it's the struggle with money or it's the struggle with letting go of my sister who hates me, or, you know, whatever the thing is. And, but I have found with all of a sudden somebody will trigger the right question going through my head. And the relief comes that, you know, that issue is washed away and cleared. And so our job is to keep being curious and to keep being inspired to go through whatever, however many challenges we have, seeing the DTW Bawa and in every single thing until we get the right answer or ask the right question so the right solution comes along. And Elio, I never want to not see you on these calls. You know, I never wanted to have anybody say that you passed because of the arrhythmia or whatever. And so one of the things that I have gotten stronger about is the importance of sharing what I know, because I have a whole bunch of things in my toolbox. And I've started to look at, well, what is the, you know, what are the Ayurvedic properties of the other things I already know how to help people with? So I can know, is it going to be counter to what I'm doing with the Siddhaveda solutions? But I've really gotten that so much changes are needed in the world that we really do have to step up and share what we know with other people that we care about. And by that, we are changing every heart and every house all around the world. And so everybody's stories have been so impactful. I did not know about Nick's initial, you know, how he went from not being able to walk to being able to climb a mountain. So, and so was like, so then, and you might think, well, then why would he choose to take his life? But he still had his pains that he felt were not surmountable. And I want to, you know, offer that we are the community that we want nobody to have an unsurmountable hurt, that we all are there for each other to be able to support us so that we could surmount whatever challenges that we have. So that's what I had to share.
Robin, I'm so very, very grateful that you brought this to the space, because those were my thoughts. And I'm sure that other people had those thoughts. But because there's been such a multi-layered dimension to this call that we did not touch on that one yet. Elio, I truly believe in the ancient secrets. I had that thought the other day where, you know, I have had a lot of benefit from the ancient secrets, and I'm still stuck in one area. But then I remembered, even in Western medicine, when I was on antidepressant medication, for the amount of time that I was on the medication, that amount of time it took me to heal, to get off of it. And then I still had to find other solutions for it. And the only thing that I kept coming back to is it will take time for me. And now it may not be for you. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But Robin, I just really appreciate you bringing that up. And Elio, we want you to be here. You bring an element to this group that's beautiful. And I so appreciate your wisdom, your insights, your connection on a day-to-day basis, wishing me a good morning.
I want to thank you for that. And I want to say at this moment that I thank you for having this great wisdom and going with the flow. And God knows what was the purpose of the call today. It changed into a different world altogether. I want to tell everybody I love you all. There is no chance, for me, doing something stupid. I believe ultimately that what is happening is that I have to, uh, what is happening to me, it is a lesson that I have to learn and to go to the next level. And I'm trying and trying, and I'm getting frustrated because I don't find a solution where I'm not finding that which, how should I say, I need to do or find or become to solve the problem. The problem is not here to kill me. As bad as it was last time, I have called 4 different people in 4 different parts of the planet. Dr. Steve was the first one that got back to me. By that time, I was halfway there, solving it momentarily.
Wait till you get my bill, Ilio. That will kill you.
Can I ask what are you getting high on? I've seen you with the helmet and I've seen you with everything. What are you getting high on? I just want to know that.
I'm in my hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, I got you. That's nice. You're getting life high on oxygen. That's super. Thank you. I love you. And I told my wife, I said, watch. I call 4 people and Dr. Steve is going to be here first. I laughed crying when you answer back and you say, emergency? Huh. Like, are you serious? I'm like, Elliot, don't make a phone call, and then start. I avoided to call you for all this time for only one reason, out of respect to your time, that I would love to talk to you, but I do not know when is the proper time. That's why I have been.
So early on in my life,
I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, early on in my life, I made the decision that it's God's time, not my time. So anytime I serve, it's great. Even here in my healing chamber, my best friend called today. He had to call 911 because he choked. So this is the safety tip of the day. Take your bay leaves out if they're whole out of your soup, because he got one caught in his throat and he had to have 911 emergency come. He finally threw it up on his own. And the other safety tip is do not leave your ghee cooking and not be home, because it can burn down your house. Careful that way. So those are I'm going to come on each week and give the safety tip of the day. And I'm in my hyperbaric chamber right now. I'm not sick, but yesterday, I'll be graphic. Yesterday, I had diarrhea from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. in relationship and empathy to everyone doing their day 7 detox. My body just said, okay, I'm going to do it with them on their own.
Thank you very much.
Jana, can I
So
talk?
thank you, everyone.
You're done.
Call today.
It's been a great call. It's been a great call. And yes, Denise, please.
Great, because I've had a plumbing problem with a tenant this morning and I don't know when they're going to call. And I really want to
Sure.
get this in because I might have to leave.
Absolutely.
There's a couple of things I want to say. One in particular to Jamie, because I had a tough relationship with my mom as well. And when I became a Reiki master, I remember at night, I realized, I thought to myself, I can't do this because my mom has never approved of me. And my Reiki master, I called her and she said, go into a meditation and your mother will come to you. And I did, and my mother did come to me. And she said, don't you understand that this was all, I'm here to press your buttons. I'm here to do these things to make you the strong person that you need to become. I am I forget what you call it, the protagonist in your life to do these things. That's why you sit in your room and you write day after day to become the kind of writer that you are. I'm the one that's pushing your buttons. And I realized at the end of that, that's what that was about. And that's what I said in the chat to you, that your mother is doing these things. And like someone before, Jacobo said, out of love, but also it's a pact that you made in another lifetime so that she's here getting you to be as strong and to be as determined and as focused as you are and standing in your own grounded self. So I had to say that to you. So you can try that, if you want. And that's what I wanted to say. And the other thing is, I haven't been on the calls because I haven't been well. And I was listening to Andrea too, because the Lyme has been so difficult for me. And I know, Jana, you've said, you were concerned too, which it's been a road. I've had this before and I came out of remission in July and my short-term memory is almost non-existent. And that I'm going to cry, but that's why I really can't take the classes. I don't remember much. I can't absorb. I've been to Dr. Hermang. I've been to herbalists and functional medicine doctors. I'm taking herbs and I'm not sure, like Ilya said, I'm not sure where the answer is here. So, that's why I haven't been participating much. I just haven't felt the ability sometimes, but I love the love when I come on.
We love to love on you, Denise.
So it's been
Denise,
hard.
Denise, it's not an overnight success. It's one day at a time, and I see improvements. I'm following what they told me to do. When I take the brain toe, I see the difference. When I don't take the brain toe, right, I'm taking that. I'm avoiding the gluten. I'm doing certain things, and I'm seeing the improvements, After a certain amount of time, I will go back for an MRI and an MRA. That will let me know if I have healed, right? And I will share it with everyone, but I'm seeing improvements. Oh my God, Denise, I couldn't even remember, I couldn't remember basic words. I had to ask people, what is that? What is that? What is that? And I had to write everything. You can get better. You can.
I'm getting better too, and I am taking the brain toe. And I am gluten-free and dairy-free and meat-free. So my diet is clean. It's just still the I don't know what affects it. Lyme is just a very difficult road, but I'm trying. And,
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing I started doing. I started writing more rather than typing on the computer. And that is helping too. And that I have to say thanks to Ronnie for that. I took her class, her alphabet class, and it forced me to write. And that is also, so these are all things that I am collecting and putting in my arsenal here to help myself get well. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. I also had, mold. I had with the storm of Ida, which actually exacerbated the Lyme because Ida affected my back room. So I had to have the whole thing renovated, and the mold also set into the brain. But that's gone. So I am improving. Thank God I had that whole room torn apart and renovated. So anyway, I don't want to take up, any much more time. But, I was thinking before there'd be a great, I came on late because I'm having a plumbing problem at a Ten's house, as I said, but if we all could talk at one point about forgiveness again. I missed some of the beginning. I mean, I called her just when a pain that I've been experiencing is I called her to help me when I first got sick, and I thought I had to go to the hospital, and I had encephalitis in my brain, and she wasn't there for me after 25 years. She has a new boyfriend. She's like, I'm busy. And, it just was like that. And she never called, and it's left a pain in my heart, and I'm trying to forgive her. And, but it's loss. It's a loss. And I worked with Jeremy on EFT a little bit on that. So I thank him.
Beautiful.
But that's it. It would be nice to do something else on forgiveness.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you. I love the principles in this book because of the forgive and forget Marma is not in the book. But even as we're sitting on the call right now, continue to do it. I do it on the calls all the time when I'm sitting because nobody can see me. I'm just doing the Marmas all the time. But the principle, the Aditi Devo Bhava, is so powerful. And also the Atmiyata, because what you're looking at is everything that comes to you is divine. The way that people are showing up in your life is divine. And it's not easy, believe me. My daughter and I we're at odds right now. And so thank you, Denise, for your message about your mother came to you and said that she is supposed to be the antagonist, because I burst out into laughter because I was like, yes, that is so true with my mother and with me being a mother. So I so appreciate that insight. It was so profound. So thank you. And, I was listening to something today that talked about how the majority of our illness, a lot of it begins in our mind. And that is what I've been trying to do, is to be able to shift my mindset so that I can be well. And I love, Vinay, he messages me and he says, believe that you are doing good. And I just want to use that as my mantra every day, believe that I am doing good. And so I want to pass those beautiful words of wisdom that he shared with me that I have made a mantra for my life. Thank you. Esther Francis, I would love to hear from you.
Synchronicity again, just as I was typing, Jana, you are doing good. Oh, what a call this is, and what divine timing. I didn't understand at the beginning of the call, before I heard Elio begin sharing, I was experiencing tremendous pain in my heart. I mean, physical pain, and it was disturbing. So I'm going to start there with the heart and expressing that I've had that arrhythmia issue, and I've had it come and I've had it go. And when it's gone, it for me, it's always been a combination of great stress and anxiety, where some situation has come up, and that's where it's kicked in. And through gut irritation and herbs, that's resolved. And that flare-ups, so some of you know, I got the information, and now I guess today it's going to be 3 weeks that my rent is going up by $850. And a few days later, my car almost conked out completely, and my mechanics advised me to get a new car immediately. And I went to dealerships and found out there wasn't anything less than $10,000 available. anyhow, there were many, many challenges, and my back went into spasm, as it did, was one of the motivations too for getting involved here. And I have to say, I've been almost 8 months without spasms, taking the herbs and living the principles. And it came back as a cramp. And I mean, it's like giving birth, having birth pangs in your back. I mean, some of the most intense, it's like 9 or 10 when that happens. It's in the middle of the night. And it only happened once because I was able to come back home to the principles, to the support from Jana and other people in the call and friends locally. And we had a call on Friday, a European call, and it was so full of blessing that I had this feeling I'd crossed the threshold, and no matter what, I didn't have to go to that degree of panic and grief, because I'll tell you, when probably the same night I had the spasm, and for a couple of nights, that beamed me up, Scotty, that this is enough. I can't take any more. It was so deep and so overwhelming. I was feeling with Nick and feeling with my mother, who tried to take her life, and I saw her on the floor when I was in 4th grade with the empty pills by her side. And I mean, I never would. I mean, but I thought to myself, with all my years of immersion in deepening awareness and consciousness and love, that could still come up. And then on the Friday call, there was the realization, it's like that onion, the deeper, the deeper, the deeper, that's still in the subconscious. What if this was this gigantic, diarrhea and vomiting of the vestiges still there? And because I got this poem it was an experience. It wasn't a poem. I had 2 experiences before all this happened in the week before. One, which was waking up to feeling that I was the lotus. And then a few days later, that I am prosperity, that prosperity isn't something that I have or that we have. It's a quality, it's a state of being. And then bam, all these things that it just shook me to the core, because all that I have say. So Elio, the issue around money, finances, I get, and I am one of the people that got the scholarship. But the scholarship, just for clarity, it wasn't just that we were given. There was a challenge, and the challenge was that we were to give something also in exchange. And in my case, it wound up that I was able to raise the amount, not the full amount, but a good deal of contribution, for the orphans. And God. So anyhow, just one last thing. And all the tears that everybody has expressed, I felt, and I've been crying along. Right now, the tears aren't in the mainstream, but I want to share. After that call on Friday, when I was just feeling so full of confidence again, I went to the beach to walk and meditate. And I walked 1/4 mile one way, 1/4 mile the next way, and I come back to get to my car and realize my keys are missing. That my keys were lost on this stretch of beach. I'll spare the details. But after much searching myself and getting help with a lift to my house to get a key to my house, where I thought I had my spare key to the car, to discover it didn't work. And going back, I got this impulse to give I had cards with me with my information, my business cards, and I just handed out as quickly, like a windshield wiper, going down the beach looking for these keys. And just telling people, if by any chance you find keys, please text me. My son joins me. We're on the way. This is again after another half mile of walking with no keys. And I get an impulse and I look in my bag and I get a text, we found your keys. And they were found in a place next to the men's restroom where a good, oh my God, 2 city blocks or 1 city block from where I walked. I never would have found them. And I want to share that because I think it's a testimony. Like I thought, I was feeling so confident. And then as somebody shared on this call, it's ongoing. And the other key that was such a gift from Ramarishi when he was asked, what do you do, in the unknown? And I've been living as if in the unknown, but it's gone to another level. And it was that realization of surrender to what? To the divine within that connects us all. And this miracle, I mean, this is on sand and beach. So even when I thought, oh my God, I got, like the biblical smite it again. What? Are you kidding? I'd be devastated. And a miracle came through. So I just want to share that as a remembrance for us all, that even though we can't grasp these solutions. I mean, because they're outside of the scope of the mind, but with our hearts open, with knowing we have each other, and with the integrity of being willing to express the truth when we feel frustrated, when we feel isolated, when we feel desperate. It's part of the process. It's part of putting our arms around and embracing the whole holy whole in the process. And each one of you has shared such a gift on this call. And even if those of you who are listening who may not have spoken out, your presence is part of this. We're all included. And I just felt like I needed to say that.
Thank you so much, Esther. I know that so many people their hearts are with you as you go through this experience. And so, did you get your keys back?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He texted me and he found them. We put them outside the men's restroom in a place I never would have gone. And
I had a message and got distracted.
And my son, and I was so moved too. It was a deeper healing with my son because there was a part of me that thought he was going to go, oh, Mom, I'm at an age now where sometimes the adult children, start turning into the parents. And
I'll tell you what, if I know anybody, you experience miracles on a regular basis. So, whatever is happening to you right now with this, it looks a little doom and gloom, but I truly believe that a miracle is tucked away inside of that.
I do. For me, for you, and for each and every one of us, it's opening our wings to that miracle. Even if we get, the wave comes over us and we're tumbling and we're in grief and we're in panic and we're in beam me up, Scotty, that we have each other and we have our own inner wisdom, and we can come up and choose to know through faith and love and connection and our own essence of love and divinity that we will be and we are all right. We are loved. We are connected.
Yes, we are.
And all is well. As Gary said, all is well.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Esther. It's such a powerful message. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pamalaya.
Hi, everyone. Here I am again. I want to say that it's so amazing to me how much I resonate with so many of these stories that practically everyone is sharing. And I made a little list just to kind of try to remember everything. So money problems, I've definitely, actually now I have financial challenges. I've had depression over different things in my life. And that's sort of been, like definitely a challenge. Like often there are things that started in childhood related to my parents. And as I talk, you'll hear the resonance of what everyone has said. And actually, I'm thinking that probably many of you are also having the same experience where you're resonating with so much of what's being said. So, but the depression, you have something when you're a child and then it really affects you. And then I'm, married to an alcoholic, and that's depressing. I'm divorcing, that's depressing. In the middle of that, my son had autism. That was depressing. I also have had experience with extreme back pain to the point where I went to the hospital, and I don't go to the doctor for anything, you guys, unless I'm afraid I'm going to die or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I will not, but I went to the emergency, which is a big deal to me. I've had major problems with my mom. I was basically homeless during my long, ugly divorce and staying with different friends and just sort of getting by the skin of my teeth somehow. My father has chronic arrhythmia, so I'm really familiar with that whole scenario. So much resonance. And the reason I'm excited about it is because I feel that we can really support each other and understand each other and be there, and even without having those same experiences. But there's probably just a lot of resonance going on, and this is life too. I like when we can connect this way, not to commiserate, but to uplift and to support and encourage, and to say, believe in things being better and how can I help, and so on. So that leads me to the other thing I'm excited about, which is that Clint said, I hadn't heard this, that there's going to be a group about something related to depression and helping people with anxiety, depression. I'm looking to see if Jane is nodding her head, or
it's something just very brand new. So it was the first time I've ever heard that today. So I'm very, very grateful, because I think it's needed.
Yes, I think it's needed. And it's really, so like that also makes me think of the other thing I thought about, because with Nick's passing, and then also the passing of Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm a big follower of Thich Nhat Hanh, for those of you guys who are familiar with him. And I love how some of the writings that were shared recently were about how he said, I'm still with you, and all the ways in which somebody might be with us after they pass. And I feel like this is one of many ways in which Nick will be with us in a really wonderful way, and by something being created that will really make things better. And I'm just really excited. And I'm an art therapist, and also with Thich Nhat Hanh's passing, I have rededicated myself and my life and my heart to this kind of bodhisattva type direction. So that was a good thing that came out of it for me, to really commit that I want to help others. And so yeah, that's just all super exciting to me. And I really want to participate in that group somehow and be part of that, and feeling the love.
I am so glad that you shared that, Pamela, because I feel like, after talking with many people in this group, there is a lot of resonance in what is being said today. And so I'm so appreciative of you bringing that up. It truly is amazing. Thank you so much.
We are one. We are one.
Susie, did you want to say something? And then Daniel.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for all the deep sharing and the vulnerability. And what I feel really deeply is that all the deep sharing that we've done today And the healing that we've done today as a group uplifts not only each of us individually, but the whole world. Because as we heal one at a time, we heal the world around us. So thank you. And I love you all.
So well said, Susie. So well said. Daniel, would you like to say something?
Yes, yes. You know, when people share and something that worked for you, you can identify, and it came up a couple times this call during some people sharing things that I have been through. And I was able to, you know, through my search, find a tool that worked. And I feel like sharing for a lot of people what sometimes causes the the health issue is just an alarm. It's an extended issue that has not been addressed for whatever reason, but we can work in it. And for me, what it has shown is a lot how we react to our challenges, right, in our nervous system. And what it has helped me tremendously, because I applied, there was a time that I was only living searching for searching. And, you know, it was too much for me. And I had to go back to life because I couldn't live life just to heal myself, because life itself is the healing process, right? The challenge is dealing with it, is growing, and then you start, oh, okay, this works here, all right, oh, good. Then you start gaining confidence back. So just to make it short, because there will be a lot to talk, but one thing that has worked me really, really well recently, on top of the marmas and everything that I do, is Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra, for the people that is not familiar with, is a self-relaxation method that you go through an audio, a meditation, whatever. There is tons of in YouTube. You can find one that likes the voice of the person resonates with you. And you can do, you know, any time of the day. Some people, sometimes it feels like it's 2 hours or 2 to 4 hours of sleep after you're doing so fresh that you feel after it. So for some people, it's not good to do at night, because then you're not gonna sleep. But I do in the morning, and sometimes I do in the middle of the day. But I can do at night and deal with myself. So what happens with the Yoga Nidra for me is that I start to get in charge again of my state, because I've been focusing on and creating again that muscle of relaxation. So I can breathe when I go through a situation of stress or something. I go back into my center by taking the breath, by remembering some things, and remembering the problem is there just to show me, just to help me with something. But how I react is the most important, because that defines my health. That defines how much stronger I will be in terms of not holding to the problem, but letting the problem go. That's the exercise. And I realized that for my whole life, I was doing quite the opposite, thinking being strong is to fight, 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 and not. Being strong for me now is being able to be resilient with the situation, be able to not react, and take the time, take the breath, waiting. A tremendous thing is waiting 10-20 minutes. Don't react at the time that something happens. Just wait. You will see. You will see how much more resilience you will be able to get by just being patient, because the head goes on and the emotions pop up, but that's not the time to solve anything. So Yoga Nidra has brought me tremendous profit for my healing process, because it put me in tune again, because everybody has this power. We just forgot. We're born with a self stress releasing automatic, but we just forgot, because we got so focused into healing, 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 this, focusing on the problem, that, you know, that becomes a little bit obsession. But I realize, hey, I gotta go back to, you know, even though I feel my emotions, feel like reaction and all that, I gotta think myself and go back to the peace state. so I can be a better servant to the problem, to the situation, or whoever. Yoga Nidra is one of the tools. This helped me a lot because it really takes a time about, can be anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, and you're getting in tune with your body again. You're able to relax with the places where you're hurting. I had a lot of release from lower back pain on the Yoga Nidra. I had a lot of release from headaches from Yoga Nidra. And of course, I keep doing the rest of the methods that I learned that works for me. But this, yes, it has been a journey of finding the tools that work for me, because it's not always what works for somebody else. But, when I pick up some things in the call, things that people say, extremely anxiety, this kind of things where you forgot where to the click off the mind. Yoga Nidra is one of the things. Breath is another thing that since the beginning, 8-10 years ago, people told me about the importance of breath. And it's like, this guy doesn't know what I'm going through. He's talking about breath, And breath is basically the number one. I do breath work every single morning nowadays. And this has helped me to clean, to be calmer, to have my mind calmer. I wouldn't believe how simple it could be. The breath work. I start little, now I can do about an hour of breath work. And this helps. If I really need and I'm somewhere, I will do a breath work and I know how to calm down myself again. Be in touch with that calm place. That's who we are. But when we are going through anxiety and depression, all that, we forget. And the mind make us believe that that's life it is. And it's not. When we're able to tap back into peace, we see like, oh, yes, I can take part of this situation and I can contribute a lot. So I work more on the muscles that, now thinking and sharing more of my gains rather than my pains. So I've been doing this more and more. And number one for me, I don't know, for you, is being God is in control, like Stephen said, whatever happens is to happen. And that makes me take also challenges in a better way, in an easier way, because God's in control in everything, our creator. They didn't create anybody to suffer, but we are here to learn. And sometimes we make it harder, but the tools are available. Thank you so much. That's all I wanted to share.
Daniel, thank you so much. What I hear you saying is really, the 6 keys of Siddha Veda. One of them is lifestyle. And what I hear you saying with the yoga mantra, Nidra, is that
Nidra. Yes.
Is it is part of the lifestyle. And I do believe that Dr. Smita does a form of yoga. And I mean, I know the Art Veda, the Siddha Veda, it's, all encompassed in those 6 keys. And it's beautiful what you're saying. So thank you.
Because if we just focus on one thing and then we forget to take care of the body, right?
Yeah.
Then what we are doing. And then we have the elements. Nature is out there. We need nature. Our body is made of the elements of nature. We need to contact with the nature, ocean, trees, whatever you can do. We need that. So and whatever works for me, I keep doing. Oh no, I got better, now I stop. No, I keep doing it and I want to master that. I want to be good in that because, I want to make that part of my life. So, you're replacing so much pain and seeking in a way that, oh, let me get what is outside to fix me. No, it's let me find what's worked for me and keep doing that. So I'm discovering more about me, what works for me.
It's awesome, and I've been coaching people for a very, very long time. And a lot of the things that I have coached over, they come back to the principles in this book. I am blown away by this ancient wisdom. And yes, so-and-so out here has put a different spin on it and maybe branded it in a specific way. But when I strip it down and come back to the foundations and the basics, they're all in here. And that was my goal when I first started working with Dr. Clint, is I wanted to learn what Dr. Naram was teaching. And that's why I obsessively watched his videos over and over again, just so that I could get to the basis of all of this. And everything that you guys are saying comes back to the principles in the book. You know, the love of self, the present moment. You know, the story that I was going to share today was one of the stories in the book, and Pamela was going to assist me. And it was coming back to the present moment. And that's whenever Dr. Naram would get knocked off center, he would bring himself back into the present moment. And that was his way, that was his strength, you know. And people that I've talked with, they have said that when they are in the presence of Dr. Naram, or when they were in the presence of Dr. Naram, that they felt so loved, that they felt he was extremely present with everybody, that even though there was a big group around him, that each one felt loved, seen, and heard by him. Well, that is a desire of mine. I truly, truly want to be able to do that with anybody that I'm with. And I understand, you know, this Marma. I truly ask any forgiveness of anybody if I've hurt anybody in this group. And I have a lot of forgiveness that I need to do on my end as well. This has been such a beautiful, beautiful call. It shows me the strength that each one of you guys have. Each one of you are leaders. Each one of you have wisdom to share. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Is there anything, any other thing that anybody would like to say? With that, Cornelia, I think we should unmute and say, I love you and I'm with you.
Yes, everyone can just unmute yourself.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
I love you and I'm with
you.
you.
Love you.
I'm
with you.
We love you, Pastor. I love you, Jane. I love you, Mike. I love you, Jamie. Love you. Love you, Esther Francis. Love you, Anna. Love you, Gorgeous. Love you, Elio. Love you, Cornelia. Love you, Lisa.
Love you.
Linda. Love you, Anne. Love you, Andrea. Love you, Mary.
Love you.
Andrea.
With you all.
Love you,
Amen. I
Mayha.
love you. I love you, Cornelia.
Love you, Cornelia. Love you, Arshia.
I love you,
Linda. I love you, Dinah. Love you, Dr. Clint. Love you, Michael. Love you,